Hey guys, my name is Josh Smith. I'm the CEO of Montana Knife Company, and I have a partnership and a new knife here that I am incredibly excited to announce. The Bearded Butchers, Scott and Seth Perkins, out in Ohio, are some of the best people that I have met in this industry. And I got to hunt with them last fall. We got to talking about coming out with some butcher knives. It seems like the knives, that's what we've been missing a little bit as a brand, is these meat cutting knives. So we started working together on what they thought would be the perfect knives that they use every single day. And let's face it, butchers in general are some of the hardest working people that you can possibly know. The amount of work and effort that goes into breaking down an entire carcass, or let's face it, dozens of carcasses every single day, it's just incredibly hard work. So we came out with the boning knife here. This is the butcher boning knife. And we worked a lot with Scott and Seth on getting the feel of this knife right. You got to think about these guys as using this as a tool 12, 14, 16 hours a day. They get to where the tiniest little differences in their knives make a big difference. So the flexibility of this blade has to be just right, the length, the angle of the tip, and the feel in the hand especially. You see those guys a lot use this in a reverse grip here where they're pulling. They push, lots of cutting and pulling down when the carcass is hanging. And this boning knife is perfect for also getting in those joints, working around those bones, and separating those cuts of meat that only those guys know how to do. I am a fraudulent butcher. I will say it. I'm a hack. But that's why we work with those guys. I've always said I want to work with the professionals. I'm not going to act like I'm some great butcher. But those guys are incredible. So if you own a butcher shop in the United States, this is the knife that you want. This knife is 5 3/4 inch overall length, 11 inches tip to tip, as well as G10 grips. So you're not gonna have to worry about rust with this. It sharpens up well, comes crazy sharp out of the box. But there's one other thing I want to talk to you about. I come from a family of butchers, and we talk about passing these knives down, generation to generation. My great-great-grandfather, Frankie Robertson, owned a butcher shop in Two Dot, Montana. And I have a photo of him standing there with my great-grandfather standing next to him as a little boy. And this knife is laying on the butcher block. Just really, really cool. And look at how much this thing has been sharpened down. From a blade that was clear out here, sharpened to next to nothing. So they did not live in a throwaway society. They got everything out of it. This other knife here was owned by Jean Merlot. This was also one of my great-grandfathers. He lived from 1910 to 1974. And he also worked as a butcher starting at 20 years old. Different side of the family, but very, very cool that both great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather used butcher knives in their businesses. So what I hope is that someday these knives will be used like those, be completely worn out. We make these knives to use, abuse, and pass down. So get yourself a butcher boning knife and put it to work. Thanks, guys.